All right, Corey, here we are. Um, Thanks for taking the time to do this with me, man. I really appreciate it. I know you've been in the community now for some time, and you've been a bit of a dark horse. You've been working away in the background. I know every so often I've got to peek down into the basement and give you a bit of a poke with a stick to see what you're up to. And every time I do that, you come back at me with, man, I'm kicking goals and I'm doing really well. And I know you reached out recently and said that you're now signing clients and you've actually quit your job, which was like, holy shit, this is pretty significant. So, and look, that's why I wanted to get you on firstly, but I think, for those of us, especially entrepreneurs, we forget to celebrate those moments sometimes. So, dude, kudos, because I know you've been working hard on this. And
Yep.
I know you keep a pretty low profile. So I'm here to pop some champagne corks, blow out some balloons, and sing into a hairbrush with you, man, to celebrate. Because I think what you've done is pretty special.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Do you want to bring us up to speed, man, with what's going on and where you're at? And
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, I've been in the program for like right over a year now. I started when I wasn't even considering doing a marketing agency when I joined this. I remember I emailed you before about like I'm like, hey, what do you think about like selling SEO training? You're like, dude, just test it. Like you sent an email back before we even knew each other. It was pretty funny. And then I decided to join. And so I decided to give the SEO agency a go because that was my background. And I was working 9 to 5. So you get in and then starting to learn Facebook ads, the way you teach. And I niched down in the legal niche. And one of the things that I found challenging was selling SEO to the legal niche. It is doable, but it's not the main thing that they were buying, which I found. So I had done Facebook ads, I had done cold email. Um,
to get clients,
I
right?
Yeah, to get clients,
Mm.
trying whatever. I found Facebook ads was better to book sales calls because with lawyers you can get their phone number like that, and they don't like to answer emails. So cold email was a bit challenging to like get them on a sales
Uh,
call.
right.
So I had several sales calls, but just like the offer wasn't quite right with SEO, with the
Mm.
niche I was targeting, not a lot of case studies. But what I found from the Facebook ads, like I was very successful at getting leads. I know we joked
Yeah.
like a long time ago I was getting $5 leads. They were
Yeah.
terrible leads. They weren't working, but it
I
was
was
leads.
shocked, man, when you said you were getting $5 like qualified leads for $5. That was mental to me.
They
Yeah.
were they were $5 leads. I have $5 a day was the spend.
I I remember seeing that and thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, is he even
Yeah.
like I brushed it aside. I thought this guy's never going to get anywhere. And then when you attended one of the group calls, you see you were getting shitloads of leads. I was like, what? $5
Yeah.
leads?
Yeah.
That was
It's pretty
mental to me.
funny.
So maybe let's back up a minute here. So you joined the program. Um, like, why did you join initially? I'm guessing like it was client acquisition, right? You still had your full-time job. You wanted out of your full-time job. In order to get out, you needed paying clients. Am I right?
Yeah, that was it. I needed I wanted to have a business. A little bit before then, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I was figuring that out, and your
Mm.
program stood out to me. It was an opportunity where I already knew SEO, but when people are starting a business, they do a lot of like sitting around thinking, but you really need to just go out and get clients with one of the main channels. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to get a business that could pay me to leave my job.
Right. So it was the lead gen stuff, right? That was priority, and that's why you joined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's what I tend to focus on more so in the group, not necessarily SEO. I mean, there are members in the group selling all different types of services, and what I teach, um, I I think, accommodates for lead gen right across the board. I'm seeing more and more of that. Oh, we do web design, or we do SEO, or we do paid ads, or we do social media marketing. A lot of them are just agency owners, and they all, regardless of size, they all have a very similar problem, and it's client acquisition. Yes, we're getting leads. Maybe it's word of mouth referrals. The leads are inconsistent. The leads are shit. I mean, all of the things that we deal with, right, as agency owners. So that's really cool, man. I mean, you joined a program, you started running ads the way in which I teach. Uh, what happened next? Anyway, actually, but let me back up a second because you obviously had a monetary figure in mind. How much do I need to make in order to be able to quit my job? Is that right?
Um, Honestly, I never really put a number on it. It was more about confidence. Like, okay, if I get my time back and I know that I can grow this, that's when I would leave.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
because doing this while you have a 9 to 5 it's a lot. Um, and also like if you have clients, which I did, I do, or I did when I was working 9 to 5, it's like you got your 9 to 5, you got to fulfill for your clients and you got to
Take
grow your
calls and
business.
meetings and
It's
hide
like,
in the
well,
bathroom while your boss is wondering where the hell is Corey, and you're in there taking a sales call.
no comment. No comment at all. I plead the fifth. Um, and yeah, so it was more okay if I were to get those 40 hours a week back, plus the focus. It's really the thing was the energy and the focus. Um, am I confident that I could, get to a monetary goal, get to where I'm, in a fine position, within like
Hmm.
30, 60, 90 days. And yeah, that was basically my goal.
That's really interesting. So you were looking for something that worked, but not only worked, but it was consistent, that gave you the confidence to be able to leave your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about like some number of like income. Like I'm pretty risky. Like I'll go very risky. Um, I know some people wouldn't be. Some people say like, oh, you want like 6 months savings. I don't really like. I'll burn
The
the boats
boats.
and
Yeah.
just go all in. Um, and so that's basically where I was able to get to
Burn the boats, $5 a day.
$5 a day. That's it. Yeah,
I'm
we're going
going, I'm
all
going, I'm
in.
going all in. Five
Yeah,
bucks a day. All
exactly.
right, dude. So, um, I know we've spoken a lot, right? We've had numerous conversations outside of the group as well. I've checked in. I've tried to be as helpful as possible and sort of guide you in the right direction. I think a lot of those discussions, and correct me if I'm wrong, have been tremendously valuable to you to sort of steer you in the right direction and prevent you from making mistakes. So maybe, I don't know, you lead me from here, Corey. What happened next? I mean, walk me through your experience and how you ended up where you are now.
Yeah. So I was booking calls from Facebook ads, but I wasn't selling. Um, and that was one of the key things that I was missing was selling something to the right audience, which comes from your teachings of validating the niche, which is one of the first things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Um,
So this was the legal space, right?
yeah, which there are people that sell SEO in the legal space, and it does
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
but it's what I found out was it wasn't the main thing they were buying, and there was other vehicles that were more profitable and quicker results. So I learned a lot about Facebook ads and how to set them up, following exactly the system with, conditional logic, quiz qualification, um,
The
your
filtering.
ads,
Yeah. The
your
messaging,
filtering,
creative targeting, direct call outs. Yep.
yeah, all that. And that was the most valuable thing I learned because what I transitioned from selling SEO was I basically just doing that for my clients
Yeah.
because I was able to get leads for myself, which was legal clients from Facebook ads. But sometimes I would accidentally get leads for people looking for lawyers.
So this was a happy accident. This is where things
It's
get
a
weird because
happy,
because you were getting your clients, which
yeah,
I'm guessing led to your next sort of hang on a minute moment.
yeah, exactly. So then I was like, okay, well, if I'm getting my clients and I know how to get my clients' clients fast, why don't I
Just
just sell my clients' clients to my clients? So, and I knew from cold email and speaking with a lot of firms that they were buying leads. There's just lead gen companies that they're the companies they generate the leads. They're like from their own traffic, their own brands, and they just sell them to firms. And so I knew that they were buying that. And so I called all my old leads that I had gotten from the Facebook ads,
right,
and there was way more interest. Like that was the missing link. It was being able to sell something to the correct avatar, to the correct audience.
right.
And
So
so once,
what was that conversation like? So you called them, you've got these leads, you call them, you say, hey, I've actually got leads here. That's a completely different offer
yeah,
and value proposition than, hey, like we can do this, like we can do these things and maybe you might get a result.
exactly. It was, hey, so I decided to test it. I was like, okay, I have these leads. I'm like, I know how to run ads. I was like, if I put it in like a few $100, maybe $500 in like a couple of days, I know that I can get leads for my clients. As soon as they come in, I'm just gonna call them, be like, hey, do you want these leads? So I did exactly that, and I knew there was a couple of firms I called, and they're like, yeah, like obviously. And they're like, wait, like, what's your like plan later? Like, what do you? I'm like, well, like if these go well, like we can just like work it. I'll just sell you more leads, and we'll just do that. And they're like, okay. And so that's where the interest was. That's what people were buying. So that worked with multiple firms, which by the way is a great client acquisition strategy. It's just like, hey, here are the leads. Do you want more? Like it was just
Yeah.
it's worked.
Yeah. In
Um,
fact, I actually tested this without the leads, contacted ideal prospects and said, hey, we've got leads. Are you interested? We'd rather just sell them on or give them to you rather than discard them. And I
yeah,
sent 10 emails and I got three responses, 30% response rate. I mean, I've never actually gotten involved in cold email, but from everything that I've um, listened in on, like you can send 1,000 emails and might get five responses. So I thought that was really interesting. And it's a great conversation starter, like you just said.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, 30% response rate is really good. Above 1% reply rate in cold email is like for like automated cold email where you're sending thousands a
Mm,
day.
yeah.
That's typically what you want. So that's good. And that's what I did. So I texted old leads and I emailed old leads and I said, "Hey, we have leads coming in your state. Do you want to field them?" And which is it's true. We do have leads coming in and then if they're interested, then it's like we can just set up a campaign within a couple days and then leads start coming in for them.
Right.
So
So there was definitely interest there for the law firms that you reached out to, and obviously qualified leads, leads that could be vetted, so they could see the quality in advance, so they knew that what they were getting. Leads that were uh, ready to purchase, had buyer intent, were in the area, everything matched up. So that would have been a really an easy sell. So um, what happened next? How did you price the leads? Are you tacking on a service offering to the other side? Are you staying strictly in the let's just sell leads lane? Like, how have you structured it?
yeah, it's I mean, so because this is like a new like vehicle, a new service, there's like a learning curve to all that, like
Yeah.
with those questions you just said, right? So depending on the exact niche and the qualifiers, like some firms have different specifications. So those are all kind of things figuring out. In general, it's I've got the 80/20 of it. you'd figure out their client acquisition costs, like what they want to acquire a client for, typical conversion rates, and kind of reverse engineer from there. And then you sell leads between 35 and 75% margins, depending on how big the client. And some clients,
Okay.
like you can get up to over six figures a month with some clients. I'm not there yet, but with some clients, like I'm already, um, it's like we got one client that's $7,000. And so
Wow.
that's like 30 leads. And that's not even that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So
Um,
what do the numbers look like, Corey? And I know there's probably a lot of questions, like you said, you can't answer yet because, and I think this is something that for the listeners, uh, you've probably taken my advice with moving with speed, right? like MVP the shit out of everything because I see a tremendous amount of people make the mistake of, oh, I've got to set up a pretty website and I've got to have landing pages and we've got to set up all of our social media properties. I'm like, fuck that. Get in, validate the niche, craft some offers, get in front of people and start having conversations. Was that your approach with this?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like just move. Like stop thinking about the useless shit. That was something like when I first joined, it was kind of the same thing. I remember going through your whole training. I think there was like a mindset like tutorial or module, this, that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then over time you just learn it's like just move. Like get shit done,
Mm.
minimum viable, whatever you call it. Just
MVE,
like
minimum viable effort,
yeah.
because it doesn't make sense to be mucking around for 12 months. We got some members in the group have come from other programs where it's like, you know, build a website, start a podcast, start a YouTube channel. They've been doing that for 12 months, zero leads. They're doing all of this work. It doesn't make any sense. My advice, sell first, then build. Right. And this is what I love. Everything that you've done is exactly that. Yes, there's
Yeah.
going to be gaps and you don't know what you don't know, but you figure it out.
Yeah, that was one of the first lessons I learned. And I remember listening to, I think it was Ben in the program. He was saying like, yeah, sales just fixed everything. And yeah, and I think that's what a lot of young or new business owners think is like, okay, I gotta build this product and service and then sell it. Like I've got a friend who's building like an e-commerce product. He's been building it for like a year and a half. I'm like, well, what if nobody buys it?
It's
And
painful, man. I've made that mistake. There's nothing worse than spending so much time, money, and effort on something only to find that nobody wants it. It's awful.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, um, yeah, one of the quickest ways is just see what like other people are doing and then just emulate
Mm.
it. Like what are they selling to who? What's what's their offer? And then get in front of people. I mean, if you have the money for ads, obviously do that. But even manual cold email, like I kind of enjoy it. And if you know how to write and you understand direct response copywriting, that can work too. It's just, it's do you have time or do you have money?
Yeah, accelerating the results, accelerating, what's the word? What's the best way to phrase this? Just accelerating the pathway to success. Like you want to reduce that time frame. This is why I talk about in the group. Like, just pick three provisional niches. Some members spend months just trying to pick a niche. Like, it doesn't matter about the niche. Learn the process. If the niche is no good, great. You understand how to get there. Reposition. Choose a different niche. You can do it really quickly. You saw just recently in the group. Hopefully, you've had a chance to watch the live demos in 4 days. Did you watch those live demos?
I did. I
Four
did.
days, dude.
And
18 qualified leads, eight conversations, two sales presentations in 4 days.
yeah, which is like impressive because a lot of programs, it's someone teaching stuff, but
They don't
they're
do it.
not they're never just like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it again. Which is basically what you did.
Yeah, because I
So
got I want to
I thought that was
demonstrate.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't. I'm all about straight. Like I just want to tell it how it is. I don't want to waste anyone's time because I spent a tremendous amount of money and time working in other programs and other coaches and mentors who just sell you big bags of hope and keep stringing you along. Get the next payment, get the next payment. And you come out the other end like, holy shit, I've just wasted 2 years on this. Or I've just paid someone like $2,000 an hour and I'm no better off. I'm no better off. There's a lot of people who want to skip the doing part and skip straight to teaching because it's easy. I'm not about that at all. I did that live demonstration to actually demonstrate what I teach actually works, and more importantly, that I've actually done it. I think that's. I'm hopeful that and I've only gotten a lot of positive feedback around that live demo. Holy shit, John! Like you've actually jumped in, spent your own money, and demonstrated that what you're talking about actually fucking works, which is pretty crazy to think, right? Because yeah, like I think there's, like I said, there's a lot of people teaching who have never actually done.
Hmm.
And I've
Yeah.
always said that's where the value is in my teachings because I can tell you what not to do because I've made all of those mistakes for the past 20 something years. There's value in it. I didn't know it at the time. Painful experience to go through, but when you run across that, I talk about the live minefield and you get blown to smithereens. I can show you where not to step because you don't
Yeah.
want to make those same mistakes. So maybe Corey, what do the numbers look like in terms of what you're paying to get uh how much are these leads costing you? And like you said 35 to 70% margins. What do the numbers look like?
So when I like get leads for my clients or when I
Yeah.
get leads for myself.
Oh, either or, dude. I don't know. You tell me.
So I mean like so with the service I offer, so it's like my own brand, right? Which is basically, it's like Facebook page, Instagram, which is kind of the same. And then you just run traffic like through, yeah, Meta, right? And then based on what your clients want, like what kind of leads they want, the qualifiers and everything, when they're looking to purchase or are they qualified? Do they have this? Whatever it is. The leads typically are about, I'd say anywhere from like 80 to 130. And then, I'm selling some leads for 275, let's say. So
Okay.
there's a lot of margin on there. Um, and sometimes sometimes you're selling to like a law firm, but other times you're selling to middlemen as well, kind of like wholesale. So like the margins will be lower, but
Uh
they're
they buy a
they're
larger volume.
yeah, like right now, I've partnered up with someone and we literally launched uh ads today for them. We're doing $200 a day and we're doing 30 leads total, and two of them came in today already. So and they're paying us 150 a lead. So
Okay.
if we can get leads for less than 100, we're making, $50 on each lead, which is like
Mm.
pretty low margins, but this can scale up very high. So we're probably going to be able to get leads for like 50, $60, which is like a 3-to-1 return. Um, and we're going to be able to scale that pretty high.
Yeah, so I think there might be a percentage of people watching this thinking, well, hang on a minute. Making 50, $60 a lead doesn't get me real excited. Why would I want to waste my time with that when I could charge a $5,000 or $8,000 a month retainer? And I think, like you just said, then it's scalable. You're not incurring massive service debt to the point where, okay, we've just onboarded a client. Yes, we've made, I don't know, $5,500 a month, let's say. But now I've got to hire five people. I've got my operational costs, expenses, and everything else. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the benefits is with this is like you're just saying to whoever's buying, like, oh, you're just buying per lead. There's no upfront cost, no setup costs, no retainer, no lock-in contracts, nothing.
Uh,
It's just you pay X amount per lead. And I mean, there's some people who doing this who they'll generate the leads for their clients, but instead of just sending them like posted through email or to their CRM, they'll call the leads themselves and book the appointments. And those ones, I mean, you could sell those for like $1,000 because those are
right.
far, far more qualified. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I don't have a call center, maybe
Mm.
in the future, who knows? But so like there's some firms we're selling $250 a lead right now, which is quite a bit. And we're going to acquire them for 120 or less.
Yeah, so you're early on in this journey, and I'm sure that if we were to speak again in 12 months, that things would probably look a little bit different, and perhaps you'd be far more profitable because you spent more time figuring things out. But what you just said then is really interesting, right? Like there'd be numerous benefits to doing what you're doing. And I know this has been a bit of a 180 shift for you because you come into the program intending to sell digital marketing services, and you've transitioned from that into selling leads. So what are for you, maybe Corey, what have the main benefits been of doing? I know we've kind of touched on some of them, but you must be looking at this now and thinking, well, this is what I had intended to do, and this is what I'm actually doing. What are some of the benefits that you see in making that change?
Benefits going from like selling SEO to selling
Selling
this?
done for you services to just selling leads, because I'm admittedly right, and it'd be fair to say there'd be people out there to saying we don't want to sell leads, but what have
Yeah.
some of the upsides been for you?
So the upside, I mean, higher paying clients, like you, if you start off with like a test client, like you can get a test client that pays $7,000 for leads delivered within 30 days. And then once that it's been validated, they're like, okay, we're signing clients, then that can easily get up to like over 15, $20,000. So higher paying clients, it's less like things to do and more repeatable actions. Whereas like with SEO, so, if you're selling SEO for like $2,000 a month to like each client, right? You got 20 clients or something, you're doing like a billion things for each client
Mm.
and it's pretty low paying. Whereas something like this specifically, I just like the vehicle a lot. Like it's there's not that many things to do to fulfill. And it's really the buyers like you're selling to like high ticket clients, which is a lot nicer.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think you touched on briefly in there is that um, selling something of this nature where you already have what they want, it's highly desirable, would probably eliminate the shit. We can't pitch and sell our services because we don't have any case studies.
Yeah, exactly.
And was that true? Maybe walk us through.
With the new offering or the my previous?
Oh, well, either or, dude. I mean, what have
I
you
mean,
found?
the previous one, the not having case studies is a big thing because like they
Hmm.
have to wait a while to get results and they still want to see like who you've done it for. Um, with this, it's just kind of immediate. It's like in the contract. It's like if you don't like we give you the leads, like we're selling you leads. If you don't get the leads, like you're not paying money. Like it's all you're paying for. You're not paying for marketing services. So it's pretty more concrete. And especially if you're just like when I mentioned earlier, if you just run the campaign and send in the leads, all the proof is right there. And that'll cost you like a couple $100, $500 max, which is like a pretty good client acquisition cost. Um, if you want to sell someone on a larger package who's going to buy you work your way up, you kind of go through iterations like, okay, we'll buy 20 leads this time. Next month we'll buy 40, right?
Right. Yeah. And are you thinking about implementing a standard like a retainer, monthly retainer, and say, okay, you just pay us X per month, and we need to deliver at least this many leads? Is that something that you're looking into?
No, I mean, I am doing, so that's a way to mitigate risk for some people. So I had a firm that I was doing SEO for. I still am. And I pitched them. I said like, hey, I've got leads coming in, basically the exact same strategy. With them, I was like, okay, I want to make sure that these guys sign them because one of the biggest challenges is when you're selling to like smaller companies you're selling leads, it's really about their sales process. A lot of
Mm.
these companies don't have a good sales process. They don't have an intake team. They're outsourcing it. They don't follow up with leads. And that's where the difference is. Like on my phone, I opt into a billion funnels and you can just see the difference between the guys who are selling, you see the difference between like I get 17 text messages over 2 weeks and 24 phone calls from the same company versus some companies that just call once, oh, no answer, no luck.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a massive difference. So with the current company I had, their sales process isn't great. So I was like, okay, I'll run the ads on a retainer, a small retainer. You just cover the ad spend. And then we're going to transition into a cost per lead once it's like profitable for them.
Do you see an opportunity there to provide some sort of sales training?
I actually just made that for a guy. He was very this was probably one of my craziest sales calls. Well, the depth we got into is some younger guy at a law firm who wants to bring in his own leads. And I was like, look, you gotta call these leads, you gotta call them fast. I was like, here's like what other firms are doing. So I made a whole document for him. I'm like, here's the exact text you're gonna send, the exact call you're gonna call 3 times in the first hour. Like
Yep,
you're calling immediately,
yep.
you're texting like 2, 3 times a day, and you're gonna hound them. So yes, there is that possibility of like that. That's a value add, right? With
Mm,
him, I was like, here, tell you what, like we're only doing a few leads. I was like, if I'm gonna have the notification. If I see the lead come in, I'll call for you and I'll book it on your calendar. So that was kind of a value add for him,
mm.
and I was able to charge a higher price. So
What
that's
was his, what was the, how responsive to that was he?
he liked that a lot.
Mm,
That was a big. I mean, he was kind of on the fence, um, because I mean, he had never invested a lot into something like this. And I'm sure you've had like sales calls where people are like, "Oh, I don't know," and you get you get into like, okay, well, what are you going to do otherwise? Well,
yeah,
how's that
yeah.
going? How long are you going to go without like, you know, taking action? Um, so he was definitely there was a lot of trust built over those sales calls. So
Mm.
um, we're just starting that. We're launching tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, this has been true. This is actually a conversation that's coming up a lot now in the group. It doesn't matter what service you're providing, any type of inbound marketing, SEO, social media, ads, Meta, Google Ads, um, whatever it might be. The bottleneck is oftentimes at the client's end because they're just not, they're either not responding to customer inquiries in a timely manner, or when they are, they've got no sales process, and it's an absolute shit show. And we've seen this, right? And this is, we talk about, especially in terms of SEO, especially tracking conversions and calls and emails. When you can actually listen in, well, hang on a minute. I'll give you a great example. One of the members recently started tracking calls for a client, and it was like 57% of the calls, phone calls coming in, weren't being answered. Now, if you weren't doing that, and I'm sure a lot of agency owners will, maybe be watching this and thinking, holy shit, that's so true. The first thing the client does is blame us. This isn't working. We want to cancel. Well, hang on a minute. You can start by answering the fucking phone.
Yeah.
So this is a common problem across the board, and I have seen a lot of because you we all get the same ads on Facebook, right? There's a lot of people that are not only pitching the done for you service, but tacking on that the setters, the closers, the appointment setters,
Oh
and
yeah.
all of that stuff on the back end, which is a massive value add. I don't know how you go about scaling that. But even if you were to provide some sort of assistance there, whether it be in person, like anytime you got to plug in bodies, that gets hard. But even if it was some form of online training or something that they could follow and implement, I don't know. But I see an opportunity there for sure. Have you
Yeah.
found that to be the case?
Yeah, definitely. One of the my SEO client, the law firm, I mean, I'm pretty like entrenched in what they're doing, and they have an outsourced um team that handles inbound that handles leads coming in, right? But they're just calling once, and it's usually like an hour later or something. It's not great.
Mm,
So we're going over the numbers of like, well, okay, well, how much is it going to cost to get someone, to like full time doing that? and that's all they're doing. Like, is it worth it? I don't know if you saw, I know we brought up like Hermosi before, but there was a study. It was like if you call your leads within 60 seconds,
Oh
you
yeah.
f
It
you
was like a
4x.
500% decline after an
Yeah.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
massive.
it's funny because okay, so like when I was doing the test where like I was getting leads coming in and I was gonna give them to clients, I had given them to like clients for free. I'm like, okay, check them out. They'll call and then they'll tell me like, yeah, there was no answer. I left a voicemail. I'll literally call not 30 seconds later, and the guy was like, I was like, oh, like I reached them. I was able to reach them
Mm.
with like a, and I was like, yeah, XYZ would have called you. They're like, oh, sorry, yeah, I was driving. And it's like
Yeah, yeah.
they're not intentionally avoiding you. Like
Yeah.
you just gotta call more.
Yeah. And sometimes uh I found at least sometimes just sending a text and saying, "Hey, I understand you might be busy or may not be the best time to call. When would be the best time to give you a quick call, quick five
Yeah.
minute call?" That allows you to engage with people who are ready to speak now because you might get 10 leads come through and it varies between niches. I get that. You might have 10 leads that come through and three people, regardless of where they came through in the queue, might say, "Oh, sure, call me in five." Brilliant. I call those people first because the last thing you want to do is make the mistake of thinking, okay, got a lead, call, no answer. Fuck, they're not interested. For all you know, they're boarding a plane, I don't know, they're putting out fires, they're, they're bungee jumping. Who fucking knows what's going on at the other end, right?
Yeah.
But speed to lead is absolutely critical. Absolutely. I wanted to touch on, if we could, your, like the offer. Um, Daniel Fazio, who I know that you've spent a bit of time working with, he said something recently in one of his videos that I love. He said the best offer in the market gets all the business. And man, I was like, that's so true. And that's what, this touches back on a point you made just a minute ago where you say you don't need to come up with a brilliant offer. Most times you simply need to find who has the best offer and reverse engineer it, right? And that's the quickest way to success. I do that a lot with my ads, like who's doing what in order to win and simply emulate and improve where possible what they're already doing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. The offer's huge, and you have to have. You, I like Fazio is someone I love. Fazio, he's great. Um, he's big on guarantees,
Hmm.
and that's definitely with how many people are offering like marketing these days. You need to like stand out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a way to craft my offer a bit better. Um, what's working in the email is, hey, we have leads coming in. Do you want to field them? And that specific terminology, do you want to field them? It's not like, do you want leads? It's like they're here. Do you want to field them? Because I can
Ah,
get the leads to them in a few days.
right.
So that's a bit different. I thought about adding a guarantee. If I were to do that, I'd probably have to add stipulations like, okay, you need to follow this sales process that I've made, and you need to
Yeah.
document it and show that you
Mm,
call within 60 seconds and all that. Um, so I'm considering adding that.
mm. That might just take time, dude. I think the other thing, and I've been talking a lot about this in the group, um, do whatever it takes to get to yes. I mean, within reason, don't be foolish about it, but take the lumps out. Make it easy for someone to say, fuck, like, why would I? Yes, like, how do we get started? Um, I know it's like everyone at the moment is talking about offers, right? It seems to be flavor of the month, but it is so tremendously important. And if you think about, like you just said a minute ago, and let's face it, how many digital marketing agencies are there right now running around the internet saying, even the SEO space is the worst for this. We can rank you first page in Google, and then they get on a call with someone and say, well, it's going to take 8 to 12 months. That is quite possibly the worst offer. That's like arriving at the ER at the hospital saying, I've just been hit by a car. Well, here, take this tablet twice a day for the next 6 months, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll start to feel better.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, all right, come straight through, plaster cast, x ray, scans, shot of morphine, boom, you'll be feeling much better in a couple of hours. So, getting to yes. And I think the other thing, Corey, and maybe you'll start doing this, maybe you already have, right? An offer doesn't have to be refund your money or, we'll work for free. It can be a pricing based offer, like some form of incentive just to get to yes. Like I did this in a demo, right? Hey, let's work together. Give me give me 60 days. Let's do a trial, one-time payment. You're happy with the service after that? Perfect. Then we can talk about having you come on board as an actual client and paying our full retainer fees. I mean, what are you doing there? I mean, I love everything you're doing. It sounds to me like you're already doing a lot of these things, but just getting in front of someone and saying, I've got what you want. This is going to be easy, low risk or zero risk. I mean, it just makes total sense, right?
Yeah. We typically start with like a test order of leads. Um, so it's like, okay, first order, just one-time payment, X amount of leads for X amount of price, and then go from there. Um, Sometimes you're selling to companies that don't have the sales process, so they're not closing as many. And that's just where like selling to better clients is like, it's not just two times better, it's like 10 times better, right? Like they just close way more deals and they pay way more.
Right. How do you qualify for that?
So with this specifically, I mean, I've learned quite a bit about who like a really good buyer is and how to find them. And with cold email, manual cold email is probably the best way to do that because I know the companies and usually it's like they're of a certain size. They have a CMO or a head of partnerships, a marketing director. Sometimes other sellers list their marketing partners, and then you just contact those companies. So there's many ways. You're kind of just reverse engineering other people's funnels. Sometimes I
Mm.
go to the Facebook ads library. Sometimes I'll go to Facebook ads library. I'll find ads from other lead gen companies. I'll go through the funnel. Then I'll get a phone call from a law firm. I'm like, oh, I know who to contact now. Like I've done that. It's it's kind of funny. My phone
Ah,
blows up all day.
right. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Wow,
I got that
yeah,
trick from someone else, and
yeah. This is what we all
it
hate as
works.
marketers, right? When you get, I'm running ads, I'm getting all of these other marketing agencies reverse engineering my funnel, which gives me the shits. But
Yeah.
there's no, I'm not, yeah, there's no way around that. Um, all right, dude. So yeah, I don't know, man. Let me probably one final question. Like, what were you doing before you joined up in my program? Like, what, I mean, you're obviously doing other things, right? What's changed since you joined my program? Well, maybe walk me through what you were doing previously before you joined.
I was trying to do affiliate SEO actually.
Oh, wow,
Yeah, I was doing
that
that for
sounds
like eight.
horrible.
It is horrible. I actually, it's funny enough. Here's the check I got. I didn't even know I got this.
Oh yeah,
This is for my affiliate SEO,
this is
Amazon
like a shoe
corporate,
money. This is like a shoe money moment. How much?
$3.
Oh, dude, you could have quit your job
I
earlier.
I know, right? I mean I could have got a lead for this, like five,
Oh
$5
shit.
leads.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this until like well after, but I was doing that for like 8 months
It
and
would have cost them more than that to send a check.
yeah, I know. I wish I would yeah, I want them to send
Dude, you
some
should
more,
frame that,
break it
put it up
up.
in the office.
I am for sure. That's like historic.
Yeah.
Maybe just a daily reminder of
This is where I
like
started.
validate your niche. Like validate what you're doing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're doing
Uh,
affiliate SEO, then what?
and then I learned about funnels from Russell Brunson.
Uh,
I took
yeah.
some of his stuff. And that's when
Yeah.
I got into the whole online business, direct response uh, world. And then that just kind of opened up all these doors
Right.
of like I didn't even know what a VSL was. Like, and honestly, most traditional marketing agencies don't know what a VSL is. Like they really don't. It's like some fucking headline that says supercharge your SEO and
Yeah.
some bullshit.
People like to throw acronyms around that they don't understand. A lot of digital marketing agencies don't know how to do marketing, but fuck, we won't get into that.
Holistic and
Yeah,
synergy. Oh, I love these fluff words.
yeah.
So I was doing a bit of funnel building, and that was in the period of when I was like trying to figure out what to do. So that was going on for a couple months, and then that's when I started seeing your ads, and that's when I joined.
Okay, so you joined with the intention of selling digital marketing services, primarily SEO. And I'm
Yeah,
guessing it was the lead gen stuff that attracted you to what I was
yeah, exactly.
doing. Yeah,
Building a business and getting clients, getting
yeah.
paid,
Mm.
and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's where my stuff's a bit different because I don't necessarily talk about the usual SEO nonsense, right? You can learn that anywhere. Oh, how many times do I put the keyword in the title and how many backlinks and does reciprocal linking still work and what, does guest posting, you can learn that anywhere. But the hard part, and this is why I've chosen to focus on it, is the lead gen stuff, lead gen and sales. I know
Yep.
you were doing some cold email stuff as well previously, yeah? Like how did you find that?
Cold email, it's good, it works. Everything depends on your niche, what you're selling, your offer, who in the company you're talking to. Like, there's so many variables, right?
Yeah.
Cold email works really well for other niches. It didn't work so well for law firms.
Uh,
Um, if you have maybe you're selling SEO to like any company, cold email. I know some guys that do that, or they sell the SaaS. Cold email will work. There's a lot of SaaS. They can send
mm.
100,000 emails a month. Sometimes Facebook ads are better. It really depends on your niche. Um, but anything can work really.
So what do you say to people that say Facebook ads? I tried Facebook ads. Facebook ads don't work. What do you say? I shouldn't talk like that, but I hear this so often, right? I tried Facebook ads. They don't work.
I think it's just an unproductive mindset.
Mm.
Like I just kind of always operate things from like other people are doing it. I know it works. There's something I'm just not doing it right. I'm missing something. Who, not how? Who should I ask? Take a look. What's going
Yeah.
on with my funnel?
Yeah.
Like it works. It's a skill you're trying to learn. It takes time to learn skills.
Mm.
You need to put a lot of time into it in a very short amount of time to like to learn something, right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I love everything you just said there. It's like, what am I missing? Obviously, it works. There are people out there making shitloads of money using getting clients using Facebook ads. So the problem's at my end. If Facebook ads didn't work, well, Facebook probably wouldn't be around. Um,
hmm
what
And
would,
it wasn't working for me when I first started. Like I didn't sell any clients from Facebook ads. But guess what? Now I can run Facebook ads for myself and I can run Facebook ads for my
yeah,
clients.
dude,
So
once
like,
you see it, once you see it clearly, it's like, this is so obvious.
yeah.
I see the same ads that everyone else does, right? I scroll through Facebook and I see, digital marketing agency with a photo of their team and they say, hey, we can rank you first page on Google or whatever it might be, right? Like there's no targeting. There's no offer. There's just, hey, we won Sydney's #1 agency award. It's like, who gives a fuck,
One of
right?
my one of my coaches once said, like I was in another program, he was like, nobody cares about your shiny shit. They just care about themselves.
Yeah, that's right. Like, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
Like, they should be scrolling through and see the ad and go, wait a minute, this is for me. Wow, this looks really interesting. I'm gonna have a look to get, start the conversation. But it's all in the targeting, it's in the offer, it's in the messaging, it's all of those things. And they take time, right? You learn. And maybe even what you just said then in your email, like, would you like to, I'm not, what did you say? Field the leads?
Yeah, we've got leads. Um, did you want to field them?
Yeah. So for me, I wouldn't think of that. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a legal term
It
or,
is. And it was
right.
something I got from, it was one of the first clients I called, one of the old leads I called. I was like, hey, I have these leads. Did you want them? He's like, are you just looking for someone to field them? I was like, field them. I like that. I
Yeah.
use that.
Wow. That's awesome. You can
Yeah.
learn so much. And this is why, like, when you niche down and specialize, you learn all the terminology and the language and everything else. You know, in that 4 days when I ran that live demo, I spent I spent probably in total maybe 3 to 4 hours looking through Reddit. What
Mm,
language do they use? You know, I've seen like how do they refer to their customers? What do they call them? Do they say we need more leads, or do we need more quotes, or do we need more jobs, or do we need more patients? Like these little nuances, like you just said with cold email, they're so important. It makes a huge difference because they want to know, okay, they're speaking my language, they're speaking to me, they understand the industry. That holds so much weight.
yeah.
Love it,
Ex-
dude. Love it. What would you say? I guess my final question, I have to do this. What would you say to someone who is thinking about signing up with with what I'm doing? What would you say to those people who are still thinking about it or unsure?
Yeah, you're gonna learn a really high value skill that'll transfer into any business that you want. So even if you don't have an agency, whatever you're gonna sell at some point, you'll have that skill forever. That was what I did, and it's working for me. And if you do have an SEO agency or a marketing agency that already has clients, then you just need to get more leads, and this is probably one of the best ways to do it.
And the value, right? It's ridiculous. Yeah. Let's not talk
Oh
about
yeah.
pricing because that might change in the future. But right now, people are coming in, they're joining the program like, fuck me dead. Wait, what? I can't believe how affordable this is.
Yeah,
I
like
don't even
I've
want to say it
referred
myself.
I 100%. Well, when I first started, I was like, I'll check out this thing and I'll see, and maybe I'll join. Maybe I shouldn't say that,
I'll stick around for a couple of
but
weeks, burn through
yeah,
everything, then cancel out.
yeah, exactly. But then John's in my inbox all the time, and he's dropping sauce, and you're just learning so much. You're like, oh,
Mm,
okay, and it's gonna take a bit. It's gonna take a bit of time to like learn some stuff.
mm.
It's not gonna work in a day. But nothing good is going to. But like
Yeah,
I've referred clients in here, like some members, and it's that just speaks to how good it is.
yeah. No, I love that, man. It's been great having you around. I think the fact that I just show up, a lot of communities where you join a program, and you're like, you don't fucking see anyone. You're like, who the hell is in here? Have I got any support? Like, I'm constantly in there, the weekly calls and everything else. But man, yeah, it's it's so interesting to see where you've landed and how you've been able to find your way. And again, man, like the fact that you quit your job, you must be loving sleeping in the mornings. Maybe you're an early riser. I don't know.
I'm a natural sleep in person, but I hate sleeping in. That's a new problem. Maybe I'll join
Right.
another program to fix that.
Well, that's a nice problem to have, right?
Yeah, I guess. I had more urgency to get up before because it was we have a call at 9 a.m. You have to show up, but now it's
Right.
you know. I do like the early mornings
Mm.
though. Yeah, you feel more productive.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I like working at nights because there's no noise, everyone's asleep, and there's
Yeah.
no disruptions or none of that. And I can just plug in and do what I need to do without someone walking into the office, the phone ringing, a text, someone messaging me on Facebook, all of the noise, old mate outside with a leaf blower, fucking drives
Yeah.
me mental. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I
And just
totally get
getting
it.
the focus back was like the biggest thing. Like you have all this massive time now and you're not being drained and this is all you're doing. It's great.
Yeah.
So it was huge and I have to thank for that. So I really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure, dude. I've loved having you in the group. Um, Yeah, you keep a pretty low profile, but I know you're working hard in the back end and you're only focusing on the things that matter. And I've learned a lot from you as well. So it hasn't just all been a one-way street. But thanks, Corey, for jumping on, dude. Taking the time to have this chat with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I look forward to watching in and seeing what's next.
Yeah,
Pretty
for sure,
exciting
man.
stuff. All right,
I'll
man.
I'll keep you updated.
All right, dude. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Corey.